Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10 and support the channel at the same time. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to this special edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. This is part 3 of our 4-part Rotation Spotlight series. We've already looked at Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. Today we're going to be talking about the cards that will be rotating out of Standard from the Amonkhet set that you might want to hang on to, or perhaps pick up soon if you don't already have copies. Quickly before we get started though, just a fast reminder, if you check out the description below, you'll find a few ways to help support us, one of which is our Patreon page. That's linked down there. Also, you'll find links to products on Amazon. If you make any purchases on Amazon, actually no matter what it is, once you go through that first link, we'll get a small percentage. Finally, Flipside Gaming still offering a promo code for our viewers as well. Maybe you can save some cash while you support the channel. As always, thank you not only to the folks that look at those links, but to all the viewers. Y'all make the channel what it is, but let's get into it. We'll go in color pie order, beginning with Anointed Procession. $6.30. Honestly, I don't think this card's going to go down all that much in the coming days and weeks. If you can find these for $5, $6, I'd go ahead and grab them. Now, it's not a card that's going to do a whole lot outside of Standard competitively, but it's an awesome casual card for token builds, whether that's just kitchen table magic or maybe more importantly, Commander, and that can definitely drive market prices. This is one of those cards that if it doesn't get reprinted, and I don't think it will be reprinted anytime soon necessarily, you're going to wake up one morning and it's like a $20 card and you're going to say, what happened? So grab them now while you can. Gideon of the Trials, $8.50. Now this one I do think will come down a little bit more. Maybe if you wait a week or two, you might be able to pull the trigger on this closer to $7 or so. Or if you shop around, you might be able to already find it at that price, quite honestly. But this is a card that actually sees modern play in some of the control builds. Now, it was seeing more modern play in those control builds a few months ago before Teferi started elbowing his way in there. But still, considering the card is in those decks, even if it is just a 1 or 2 of sometimes, it does say a lot for the power level that is behind this card. Ultimately, over time, there could be more opportunities for this to find its way into modern decks. And a lot of people originally were trying to brew those Gideon tribal decks, which didn't really pan out. But you know they're going to keep printing Gideon cards at some point. Who knows? That could be a viable build. So I would grab these now. As Foretold, $6.50. Remember when this card was super hot and everyone was trying to build that As Foretold modern deck? Well, that deck's still kicking around. Unfortunately, it hasn't really put up any big results. It had one really good weekend, and then shortly after, they did the unbannings with Jace and Bloodbraid, and everything changed, and you don't really see the deck doing a whole lot anymore. But it is still showing up every once in a while, especially on Magic Online. With that being said, $6.50 probably a little expensive. I would wait for this to go down a little more again in a week or two, check back in on this price. But because it has seen a small amount of modern play and a small amount of legacy play, I do think it's worth grabbing some copies. Because again, as more cards get added to the pool over time, who knows, maybe that deck does become more viable. And the other thing to remember is this is not a bad casual commander card as well. Liliana's Mastery, $1.95. Zombie Tribal, again, more from a casual point of view, is something that's very popular. Whether that's Commander, Kitchen Table Magic, or what have you. If you can find these for under $2, maybe even closer to $1, why not have some copies in your collection? Lord of the Accursed. Now, this one's an uncommon, so kind of adjust expectations when it comes to pricing. $1.79, though. It's actually pretty high for an uncommon card. Again, this is being driven by the casual market, and I definitely don't want to be left behind and not have my copies. Although, there's more to this one. I think with the 3 casting costs, there's a chance that someday there might be a zombie deck in Modern, maybe even eventually Legacy, and this could be a part of it. Now, I don't think it's there yet. We need more cards to enter the field, maybe some more cheap lords, accelerants, enablers. If we got those, though, much like Merfolk decks and Goblin decks of the past, zombies could be a tribal force. It's just something that hasn't happened yet, really, but could happen down the road. Glorybringer, $1.77. 5 casting costs can be a little clunky when you start talking Modern and Legacy, but this card has seen a little bit of play in some decks in Modern. Now, the Skred Dragons deck is probably the most recent example of that, and it hasn't put up good results in the last couple weeks. But again, that doesn't mean things couldn't change in the future as more cards enter that pool. Maybe more importantly, though, this is a dragon, and there's a lot of people that do play Commander Dragon decks, and they're always looking for good cards like this one. Hezret the Fervent, $6.16. This card has already seen a fair amount of play in Modern and the Legacy, actually. Mardu Pyromancer is probably the most famous example when it comes to Modern, even though not every version of that deck will run this, but many do. And Mono Red Prison, sometimes it's like a 1 of or 2 of in the Modern version, and sometimes like a 1 of in Legacy. But again, if a card can hang in those environments, it's definitely worth noticing. And I do think this will go down a little more. It is still seeing a lot of standard play right now. So give this one a week or two. You might be able to pick it up for like $4 or so. Nice little stealth buy. And I think it'll be worth your time. Soulscar Mage, $2.16. This card is a 1-drop. The prowess definitely matters when you start talking Modern and Legacy, especially the Delver decks in Modern right now. They're all running this. So if you can grab this for just a couple dollars, I would do it. Ronas the Indomitable, $12.52. I do feel like that's a little expensive for this card. I would wait a week or two. You might be able to grab it closer to the $10 mark. It is a good casual commander card. That's part of the reason the price has been propped up, but it's also still seeing standard play even at this point. Now, outside of that, Modern, yeah, this is seen playing collected company builds. Not extensive play. It's not in all builds. Maybe it's a one of when you do see it, but it still sees play there, and that is definitely worth noting. Cascading Cataracts at $1.36. Joda decks have been very popular in Commander. This is a card that complements those decks, so if you can grab it for $1, I would do it. Next are the cycling lands, and I'll go through the pricing and then I'll give you my thoughts on them. First is Canyon Slough or Slough, $3.75. And yes, if you look this up in the American Heritage Dictionary, both pronunciations are acceptable as long as you're referring to the swampland. Second is Fetid Pools. As far as I know, it's the only way to pronounce that one, $4.28. Irrigated Farmland, 99 cents. Scattered Groves, $2.10. Shelter Thicket, $2.49. Now, mostly these have been seeing standard play, obviously, and they are rotating out. So I would expect the ones that are a little more expensive, like the Fetid Pools, to go down pretty quickly over the course of the next couple weeks. But there are some occasions where these do see at least a little bit of play in Modern or Legacy. One example of that would be Sheltered Thicket. You'll find that as a one-of a lot of times in lands decks because that's a weird deck that's doing something strange anyway, so it kind of makes sense there. But for the most part, if you see them outside of standard right now in competitive formats, it's very niche. What I like about these is, again, their utility in Commander, their utility at the kitchen table. Because this is a nice budget option. If I'm looking for a land that I can fetch up, these do count as their basic land qualities when it comes to fetching. So if I can't afford original dual lands, I can't afford shock lands, these are great. And if I'm talking about Commander, maybe I even have some of those lands, but this is just another thing I can have in my deck that I can fetch up, considering that's a singleton format. It could be very nice. Also, cycling is very relevant. There are decks, we just saw Nature's Vengeance, for example, from Commander 2018, that are trying to get things into the graveyard. In this case, you can juggle some lands, perhaps. So if you have one in Jund colors like Canyon Slough, you could throw that right in the deck. It would actually be pretty good there, for example. So another question I have about these cards is when will they see reprints? Because with the cycling, they're not going to show up in just any set. You're going to have sets that care about cycling. And the next time we get one of those, who knows when that will be, they'll probably try to finish the cycle. And then we won't actually see these again till much, much later in the future. A couple weeks, you might be able to get playsets of all of these for around $30 total, and I think that would be a great pickup if you don't already have them. Alright, with that being said, that's Amonkhet, and we're going to come back later in the week and look at Hour of Devastation. That will wrap up this series. But until next time, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.